Hi everyone, welcome to the ultimate tutorial where you would learn to build a real estate website using React and Tailwind CSS. In this step-by-step tutorial, I'll walk you through building a functional real estate website using React.js and styling with Tailwind CSS. Let's walk through the project overview. We'll start by building the simple navigation bar that would have the company logo, navigation links, and a button to contact us. Then we'll proceed to building a simple yet classy hero section that will captivate the users. And we'll also build the search functionality that will allow users to filter property based on location, property type, price range. And also we're going to display property list in the home page. So on this home page, we're going to be displaying just 6 properties, but we have other properties in our database that the users can have access to once they filter right here. So we have just 6 properties that is displayed, and for each of the property we have the image of the property, we have the location, we have the property type, the name of the property, the price, number of beds, and number of bits for each property cards. And then we'll proceed to building the footer for this property website. For each property, we can view the details of each of them by clicking on the name of the property, which would lead us to the property details page where we can view more details about the property. We can learn more about the property. We have the name of the property, the price, the location, number of beds, bits, the property type. We have a bigger image of the property. We have the property description, more description here, and we have a form down here to book an inspection. So once a user is okay with this property, once they're satisfied with what they're seeing, the property type, the images, the price, and all of that, they can fill this form to book an inspection and come and see what they want to buy physically. And also, if you notice, we have the hero section, we have the footer and the navigation bar on all the pages. So you're going to learn how to do this as well, how to ensure that the navigation bar and hero section remains on all the pages. So back to the home page, by clicking on the logo, it will lead you back to the home page. Now let's test the search functionality. So right here we have just 6 properties that is being displayed. Let's search for property in United States location. If I click on search now, it's going to display properties that matches with the location United States. So if we scroll down now, all the properties that will be displayed, the location will be United States. As you can see, the location here is United States with different price range, with different property types. So the first property here is a villa, the second is an apartment, the third is a villa, the fourth is a house, and the fifth is a villa as well. So this functionality is working. If I click on Canada and I click on search button, all the properties that will be displayed will match with Canada with different property types. Everything here matches with our search filter. And if I want to select properties that are in the location of the United Kingdom and I click on search as well, a new property will be displayed that would match with United Kingdom location. As we can see, all of these properties here, the location is in United Kingdom. Okay, so we have about 7 properties that matches with this location right here. So let's test for property type. I'm going to make this default. Now for property type, let's say we want to search for apartments only, and I click on search. All the properties that would be displayed would be an apartment. So right now we're going to get the list of all properties that are an apartment in different location because we did not select any location. So right here, everything that is being displayed here is an apartment, 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 apartment. So we have 7 apartments that matches with what our user has selected. If I click on villa as well and I click on search, all properties are going to be villa. If we scroll down now, all of these properties are going to be villa, 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 villa. Okay, so let's say our user wants to filter using the three functionalities that we have. Let's say the user is choosing United States and they want to search for an apartment that is within the range of 0 to 200,000. If we click on search, we have a property that match with this description. You can see is in United States, is an apartment, and the price range is below 200,000. This is 170,000. And now let's say our user wants to filter for house in Canada that is an apartment and the price range is in between 201,000 to 300,000. If I click on search now, we're going to have list of properties that is going to match with it. And here we have it. These 2 apartments, the location is in Canada, they are both apartments, and the price range, this one is 280,000 and this is 205,000, which matches with this price range, 201,000 to 300,000. Now let's say we want to filter for United Kingdom, a house, and the price range is between 200 to 300,000 as well. If we click on search, we're going to get the property that is going to match. This is in United Kingdom, is a house, and the price range is 300,000. Let's give this a try as well. Let's say we want to get an apartment that is in United States and is a villa and is in between this price range. If I click on search now, we're going to get properties that is going to match it, and we have it here, United States. This is a villa and the price range is in between 0 to 200,000. So the search filter functionality is working perfectly well. Let's give it another try. Let's say we want to go for Canada and we want to select a house that is in between this price range as well. If I click on search, the property that will be displayed is going to be Canada. The location here is Canada, is a house, and the price is in between 105, which is in between 0 to 200,000. The price here is 105,000 and it matches with this price range. So at the end of this tutorial, you're going to learn to build a functional real estate website where users are able to filter properties based on location, property type, price range. They will also be able to view the details of the property, a proper details of the property. There's a form to book an inspection as well, and this website would be responsive. So guys, let's get to the tutorial. Going to open any code editor of your choice. I'll be using VS Code. Then you navigate to terminal. We're going to create our project folder in the terminal. So I'll click on new terminal. And now we'll change directory to desktop. In the desktop, you're going to run this command to create a React app. npm create vits at latest real estate web hyphen template React. Then you click on enter. You press enter. We're now going to change directory to the folder cd real estate web. Press enter, and then we're going to run this command npm install. So this is going to install all React packages and dependencies. So now that our packages has been installed successfully, we're going to click on file, then we'll click on open folder. In the folder, we'll navigate to the desktop because that's where we created it, and here we'll select the folder real estate web, and we're going to open it in VS Code. So now this has been opened with VS Code. Here I'm going to close all of this. We have our source folder, we have all our files here, we have our index.html as well, we have index.css, app.css, we have everything right here. So I'm just going to make this a little bigger. Okay, so now we need to check if our React app is working. We'll navigate to terminal, open a new terminal. And on the new terminal, we're going to type in npm run dev, press enter. So now this is going to generate a link where we can follow to view our React app in our local browser. So hover on it and click on follow link. So this is our app here, is working. Our account button is working. So let's try to make a change right here in our app.jsx. Let me turn this to the H1 here. Let's say subscribe to my channel. And if we view it on our browser, we should see subscribe to my channel there. So we have it right here, subscribe to my channel. Now we need to get our Tailwind CSS because we're going to be styling with Tailwind. So we'll visit the official website for Tailwind CSS. And here it is, tailwindcss.com. So this is the official website. We'll navigate to the documentation, click on docs. And right here in the documentation, Vite has its own tab now with the latest version. So we're going to follow all these steps to install Tailwind. So I'm going to copy this first line of code and then paste it in my own terminal. So I'm going to create a new terminal, git bash. I'm going to paste the line of code, press enter, head back here. Next, in vite.config.cs, we're going to copy this line of code, but we're using JavaScript. So ours will be vite.config.js. So we're still going to do the same thing. Copy this line of code, Ctrl C, head back here, vite.config.js, and we're going to paste what we just copied here. Then come back here and copy Tailwind CSS as the plugin, Ctrl C as well. After this React, we press type in comma, press enter, and we'll paste what we just copied. Then to the next step, in our global CSS, we're going to paste this. So we'll copy this in our index.css, which we're going to find here. I'm going to clear all of it. So Control A, then backspace, then Control V. I'm going to paste what I just copied. So Tailwind CSS has been installed successfully. Let's see if we have it in our package. You can see right here, Tailwind CSS version 4 has been installed. So let's continue. Now we need to rerun our terminal using npm run dev. So I'm going to stop this terminal here that is running by typing Ctrl C. It's going to stop the terminal, and then we'll rerun npm run dev, and we'll press enter. So before that, let's make some changes. Save it all. So right here, let's clean up. Ctrl A, select it all, delete RAFC to create React snippets. Press enter. To use this shortcut, you need to have this extension, EX7 React Native extension. So do well to install the extension. Let me close this. Now let's style. So here I'm going to delete, and we're going to have h1 tag. Let's type in some word. Subscribe to my channel, and let's style. Class name, let's say text red 500. Now that we have a little styling in our terminal, we have npm run dev. So I'll rerun this code now, and we're going to follow the link. Click on follow link. So now this is what we have. You can see that the text is red. Our tailwind is working. Let's add font bold. Text, let's say bold. So now that we have our font bold, let us continue with the actual code. First off, in our source folder, we need to create our component, pages, context, and we need to get all the images that we'll be using for this project, and also our asset folder, which I've already prepared, and I'm going to share the link in the description box. So right here, I'll create a new folder, and the name of the folder will be components. Then we'll create another new folder for pages, and also we'll have a new folder here for context. So we have all these three folders, and I'm going to create a file for data. So in our data file, this is where we're going to have all the array of objects that is going to represent each houses. So I'm just going to paste it here because I already prepared the file. So for each property, we have, these are all the images, but let's get the image file here. This is the image that we're going to be using. So I'm going to copy all the images that we have right here, and I'm going to paste them all in the asset file. So we have all the images right here. Okay, I'm going to close the asset folder. This is our data file as well. We have array of objects for properties, and each object represents each property. So this is a property with the index number, with the ID that will uniquely identify each of the property. We have the name, we have the price of the property, we have the country, we have the number of beds, we have the description for the property, bits, the image, and the property type. So we have about 16 properties here. I'm going to drop about 18. We have 18 here that the user can search from. So right here in our component folder, I'm going to create, we'll start by creating our nav file. We'll create our estate list and all of that. So first file will be navbar.gss. So here, navbar.gss, RAFC to create React snippets. And the component folder as well, we'll create another file, hero file. This is going to be for the hero section. We would create the footer.gsx, RAFC as well. We would create our estate lists .gsx, RAFC, and then we're going to create the search .gsx, rfc as well. So I'm going to close all of this. We're going to come back to them one after the other. And in our pages, we're going to create the home page .gsx, rfc, and we're going to create the estate details page .gsx, rfc as well. Okay. Now we'll come back to our context, because the context is where we're going to manage all our states and functionality that has to do with the entire application. Also, because we're using estate details will be in another page. We need to set up our route. So first off, we need to install React Router DOM, and also we need to install React icons, because we'll be using icons to represent some things like the search functionality. So right here, open a new tab. And in the new tab, you're going to search for React icons. React icons. Open a new tab as well. React Router DOM. We're going to search for both. We're installing the npm package. So here, click on this. For React Router DOM as well, click on this. Once you're on this website, copy the installation code that is right here. Head back to your folder, to your Visual Studio Code or whatever app you're using. And right here, let's open another bash. And we're going to copy the installation code and paste it here. Head back here as well. For React Router DOM as well, we'll copy the installation code. After this has been installed, React icons, you can decide to wait, this is installing, or you can just open a new terminal so that you can install both at the same time. I'm going to paste the installation code for React Router DOM. Press enter. While all of this is installing, I'm going to set up my route. So first off, in our main.gsx, we are going to wrap browser router around our entire application. So I'll delete this strict mode that we have here. And this is our application here. So here we're going to have router from React Router DOM. And I'm going to cut our app.gsx and paste it in between the router here. So let me comment this out. So we've wrapped our application around React Router DOM. Let's see if it has been installed. React Router DOM has been installed. If we check our package.json, this is what we have. React Router DOM has been installed. So our React icon is yet to install. Okay, it has been installed as well. And we have it here, React icons, React Router DOM, Tailwind CSS. So these are all the dependencies that we've installed. So let us set up our routes in app.gsx. So I'm going to delete this. So the first thing we're going to do is to render our nav components at the top of every page. So we're going to have navbar here. We're going to have our navigation bar, and we'll import it as well. We're going to import navbar from ./component/navbar. After rendering our navbar, we're going to define our routing structure for our entire application. So here we're going to have routes from React Router DOM, and we're going to set up each of the routes. So here we're going to have routes with a self-closing tag. So for the first route, we'll set up the path, and the path here is to home page, and it's going to take /, and the element we want to render is going to be our home page file, home page. So here, home page, and I'm going to close it as well. We need to import it. We're going to import home page from ./pages/home page. And then, so here for this route as well, it's coming from React Router DOM. So I'll just copy and paste it here. And we're going to create a dynamic route using an ID as the dynamic parameter to fetch the details for a specific property. So the dynamic route here is for our property details page, where we can click on a property in our list and we can view the detail of that property in another page. So to get to this page, we're going to create a dynamic route that would fetch the details of that page, that will allow us fetch the details of the page. So we're going to have routes. Our path here will be a little bit different. /home/ colon ID. This is the dynamic route. And our element here is going to be for our estate details page. So here we're going to have estate details. That is the name of the page, estate details. We're going to close this and close the route itself. We're going to import it as well. We're going to import estate details from /pages/estate details. So this is what we have. So if we view our browser now, we have the navbar followed by our home page, and we're also going to render the footer components at the bottom of every page. So right here, we're going to have routes. The path will be to the footer / oh, we're not setting up any routes. We're only going to render our footer component. So here, footer, we're going to close it. We need to import this as well. It will not be inside our route. So Ctrl X, it will be outside the route setup. And we're going to import it. Import footer from /component/footer. So we should see our footer here as well. Navigation bar, the home page, and the footer. Navbar would be at the top of all the pages. Footer would be at the bottom of every page that we're going to build right now. So we've already set up our routes. Now let's start with our navigation bar. So I'm going to open our components, open our navbar.gsx, and let's start working. So right here, we're going to remove this and we'll create 3 div tags. So here we have div times 3. The first div tag will be for our logo, the second will be for the links, and the third will be for our button. So right here, let's give them some spaces. So for the first div tag, we'll have our h2 tag that will represent our logo. Let's say Zion Properties. And for this div tag, we want to ensure that once you click on this logo, it leads you back to the home page. So we're going to use a link tag to set the path to our home page. So right here, I'm going to have link from React Router DOM. So link in between this link tag, that is where we're going to have this div tag. So I'm going to cut this, Ctrl X, and I'm going to paste it in between the link tag. Let's format this document so that it can look better. We're using prettier. Okay, so for the link, we're going to set the path to /homepage, and that is the same thing that we did when we're setting up our routes. The path here for our route leads to the home page, so that's what we're using for this link. Now the second div tag, like I said, is for our links. So we'll have another list, and we're going to have 4 list items. So the first list item will take the text home, the second will take about, the third will take properties, and the last one will take mission. And for this other div tag, it's going to take the button, and the text of the button will be contact us. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to my account. If you have not subscribed, I don't know, what are you waiting for? So this is what we have on our home page. This is our navbar now. Let's style. So for the first div tag, we're going to style. We're styling with CSS. So display flex, justify, space between. I want all the items at the center, so items center, px will be 24, py will set it to 3. We're going to have a background color of emerald, 400. The text color will be white. Let me close this. Text color is white. Now for our logo, the div tag that we have here, class name, we're going to set the text size to 2XL and the font to be bold. For the lists, we'll set our class name. The display here will be flex. We'll set a space. And the text size will be large. And the fonts, we're going to give it semi-bold. Now for each of the list items, so right here, we'll have our class name. So if you hover on the text, we want to have the text color as black. And we want to show the cursor as pointer. So cursor, pointer. So I'm going to copy it. And that will be the same for all of it. Ctrl C or paste it here. I'll paste here and do the same here as well. Now for our button, we're going to style this as well. Class name, we'll have a border around it. And the border color, emerald 600. px will be 10. py will be 4. The font weight will be semi-bold. And want the border radius around it. So rounded full. There should be space between this semi-bold and rounded full. Okay. And if you hover on it, the background color would be white. And if you hover on it as well, the text color should be black. So text black. So this is what we have now. Now we're going to create our hero section. So I'm going to close the navigation bar and we're going to open our hero section. For the hero section, we need the image, right? We're using this image 4 here. So I need to import the image first. Import hero image. That is the name I'll give it in this component from / our asset folder / the name of the image itself is image4 img4.png. So let's create our hero section. Now that we have imported the image that we're going to be using, we'll create a div tag. And in this div tag, we're going to have an h1 tag, a p tag, and an image tag. So we're going to have these 3 here. The h1 tag is going to take this text, and the p tag will also take this text. I'm going to paste the text here. And now for the image, we're going to use the hero image that we've imported, hero image. So this is our hero section, and our hero section will be in our home page. So we're going to open the pages folder, pages, and we're going to mount our hero section here in our home page. So I'll come here, delete this, and I'm going to mount hero. I'm going to import it as well. We're going to import hero from /component/hero. So we should have this now. Okay, so this is what we have now. Let's style. Back to our hero section. The first div tag, we're going to set, let's have class name. We'll set the height to 120. It should be in it, 120 VH. And we're going to display grid. Place all the items at the center. Place items center. The background color is going to be emerald as well. So emerald 400. Rounded on the border, bottom right should be about 30%. So let's have 30% here. And then rounded on bottom left as well. Would it take another 30%? Then the text will be at the center. All text would be at the center. Let me close this. Okay, what else do we have? We have our H1 tag. The text size will take 6XL and the font will be semi-bold. Margin top for this will take 3 and the text color should be white. For our P tag, have our class name. Text size should be large. The margin top would be 2 and our text color would be gray. So we're going to choose this gray color here. For our image, let's set the class name as well. The width should take 1000 pixels. And we're going to have the height. That would be 750 pixels. Then objects contain. And we'll have our margin top, negative margin top of 28. So let's see our hero section. So this is the hero section that we have now. It's looking all good. The image is coming out. We have our text at the center. We have all of this here. Now this looks good. Next thing should be our search bar. So we're done with the hero section. Now we're going to have our search, which we're also going to mount in our home page. So I'm just going to come here first. SEARCH, search from components. It has been imported right here. Okay, now the search itself. We have a div tag. Then we're going to create 3 div tags for location, property type, and price range. So we're going to have div. Let me create the first div tag so that we're just going to tweak some things for the other ones. So in the first div tag, which is going to be for location, let's have the comments, location. That is the first div tag. In the location, we need the icon for map marker. So we're going to have map marker. Okay, out. Because we have installed React icons, right? If we type in any name, React is going to check for the icon that matches with the name that we've typed in. As you can see, I don't need to visit the official website to go and search for the icons. And if you want to visit the official website, this is the website here. So you just type in React icon in a new tab. And here you're going to see the GitHub page. Click on this. Once you click on this, it's going to lead you to the website where you can see several React icons and you can choose from. So you can just search for the icon here. So let's say I want to search for map. It's going to display a list of icons that match with this name here on the website. So you're going to see several icons that has this keyword here, map, and you can just select your icon from. So this is the icon that we're using, this one in particular. Let's say I want to select it from here. You're going to copy this, head back to your code editor, paste it. You can see that it's the same thing. Then also you're going to copy this as well and paste it where the icon tag will be. Okay, this is for the import and this is for the tag itself. So you can decide to visit the website and you can explore it, and you're going to see as many icons as possible on this website, reacticons.github.io/react icons, if you visit this website. So let's close this and let's continue with our code. So after the icon tag, we're going to create a div tag, and in this div tag we're going to have a p tag first. The p tag will take this text, location, into brackets any. That means you can select any location, and we're going to use our select icon to make that possible. So select, we're going to delete this name and ID. So right here in the select icon, in the select tag, we're going to have our options. So here we're going to have 4 options. We'll come back to the value, or better still, let's just have. So this is going to be, the first one will be default value. The second one, the second location here, United States. The third here will be Canada. These are a list of locations that our user can select from. United Kingdom. Okay, so the text that the option is going to display here will be select your place. The second one would be United States. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it in between the tag. Third will be Canada. I'm going to select, copy, and paste. Fourth will be United Kingdom. I will do the same thing, select, copy, and paste. So this is for the location. So after this, let me reduce this a bit, and I'm going to close this as well. After the location, we're going to have for our property type and price range. So I'm just going to select this right here where the div tag is closing. Okay, so the div tag is closing here. Okay, so select, copy, and we're going to paste the first one and paste the second one. No, sorry, Ctrl V, paste the second one. Okay, the first one is for location, second is for property type. So I'm going to change the comments here to property type. The tag will be different, obviously. The icon will be different. So here we need the home icon. So I'm going to type in home, and I'm going to select from the list of icons that React is going to display. I want to use this icon here, and I believe it has been imported right here. So this is going to be the p tag here is going to say property type any. For the user to select any property type. Oh, come on, property type. This will be the default one, will be select your place. Then for the property type here, the first one is going to be an apartment. So here's what I'm going to do: Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. So here I'm just going to use Ctrl D to select this. So here, apartments. I'll highlight this as well. Then use Ctrl D. This is going to be a villa. I'll do the same here. Highlight, use Ctrl D, and this is going to be a house. Okay, so this is for property type. Now the next one is price range. So change the comments here to price range. The icon is going to be different, definitely, and it's going to have like a dollar sign icon. So let's see, we're going to use this icon here, and I believe that it has been imported as well. Okay, so the text here would be price range any. So choose any price range. By default, you're going to select price. So here, select price range. That will be the first one. Ctrl D. So the price for this second one will be in between 0 to 200,000. 200,000. The second one as well. Highlight. Ctrl D. 200,000 and 1 to 300,000. So yeah, 200,000 and 1 to 300,000. And the third would be 300,001 to 400,000. Ctrl D, 300,001 to 400,000. Okay. After all this div tag, the first, second, and the third, we're now going to have the search button. I will have a comment here for search. So for this search, we'll have our button. And we're going to use the search icon, and we're going to select from the list of icons that React is going to give us. So here we're using this icon here. So this is the search icon. Okay, now let's see what we have in our own page. This is what we have. So select from here, select from here, select from here as well. I can see that we have a quote. Let's check, where are we getting this quote from? Okay, we don't need a quote here. We don't need a quote here as well, and we don't need it here as well. Okay, now let's see. Okay, okay, all right. Now let's style our search. So here, class name. The display would be flex. The position of the entire, so here we're going to have absolute, and we want all the items at the center. So item center, we want a gap of 4. The width, we take 70% of our entire screen. So here 70%. The background color would be white. Our padding would be 4. Rounded LG. Margin top of 38. This would be negative margin top though. And margin left to be 50. So ML 50. We want a shadow, just a medium shadow. Then for our icon, before the icon, we have the div tag for this location. So class name, display will be flex. Items at the center. We want to have a gap of 4 as well. So gap 4, padding 2, flex will be 1. We want to have a border, and the border color will be gray, 300, and rounded large, a large border radius. Now for the icon, we'll have a class name. The color, the icon color would be Emerald 400, and the size will be 2XL. Then the text here for this location, the text color will be gray, and the font will be semi-bold. Yeah, for the select, we'll have a class name as well. We want to set a border none. Outline will be none. Outline, okay. None. Background will be transparent. Text color will be gray. I will have a width. Will be full. Margin top will be 1. That is for the select. So what we're going to do now is just to copy the same thing, because we're going to be using the same class name for all of them. So I'll copy this, and I'll come to the div tag here, and I'm going to paste it. The styling for the icon, I'll copy it. I'm going to paste it here as well. For the p tag, I'll do the same thing, copy the styling, and I'm going to paste it right here. The select tag as well, I'll copy the styling, and I'm going to paste it here. I'll do the same thing here. The p tag, copy the styling, and I'll paste it right here. The icon, I'll copy the styling, and I'm going to paste it right here. Do the same thing here, copy the styling, and I'm going to paste it right here as well. So right now, this is what we have. You can see that this looks very cute. You can select here as well. Next thing now is to display our property lists. We need to display our property list after this hero section and the search functionality. So I'm going to close the search, okay. I'm going to mount the property list in our own page, and the name for the component is estate list. So I'm just going to come here and mount estate lists into the home page. I'm going to close this, and right here I would import estate lists. From dot forward slash dot forward slash component slash estate lists. Okay, so immediately after our search, we're going to see the estate list. So let's continue. Then we're going to open our estate lists file. This is the file right here. But before we can display anything, we need to get the data from our data set, which is representing each of the property list, also the estate list. So we're going to create our context because we're going to use context. The context, our home context as the powerhouse for this entire application, such that whatever logic, function, states, side effect, and all of that we write in the context will be accessible by all pages and components, and we do not have to pass those logics down as props. So in our context folder, I'll create a new file and I'm going to name it home context.gsx. So in home context.gsx, first off, we are going to import React from our React package. After this, we're going to create a context for managing our home related data, and we want all other components and pages to have access to the context. So I'll use export const home context, and it will be equal to create context. Okay, after this, we are going to import our property data from the local file, which is this data file that we have here. So we're going to import properties from our local data file. After this as well, we're going to create our context provider. So we're going to have const home context provider. It will be equals to, we'll create the function. We're creating the home context property provider function. Okay, so this is our function right here, and we're going to pass the children as the parameter here, and we're also going to export this context that we've created. So export defaults home context provider. Okay, and in our home context provider, we're going to return our values. Okay, that we're going to return our home context dot provider. So here, home context dot provider. In between this, we're going to have the children, and we're also going to return values that other components and pages can have access to. So this is where we're going to be. This is where we're going to have all the states and functions. The values are going to be here. Okay, so this is like the basic setup for our context. So before anything, we need to wrap our entire application around the context. So we'll head back to main.gsx right here. So I'm going to cut this, select Ctrl X. Then here we're going to have home context provider, and we'll paste what we just cut in between. As you can see, home context provider has been imported from our home context. So let me format this document, and this is what we have. Now we have our home context right here. So back here, for this, we're not just going to have it like this. We need to return this. So Ctrl X, we're going to return, open our brackets, and I'm going to paste it back here. Let's format our document. So this is what we have. I think it's cool like this. Okay. So now let's start with our actual code. First off, we need to create a state that would manage all the available homes that we have in the property. So we're going to have const homes, setter function set homes. There's the setter function that would update the homes if there's any change. So use states, and we're going to use, by default, we want to use the properties that we imported from our local data file. Okay, and we're going to pass the value here so that other components and pages can have access to those homes here. So it's this homes that we have here that is representing this property as well. Now we can now work on our estate details page so that we can display the details that we have in our estates, the houses in the estates. Let me put it that way. Okay, so now we're going to have our estate lists. So for the estate list, first we need to extract the homes from our home context. So I'm going to have const homes, the state variable homes will be equals to use context should be home context. Okay, now let's work on the UI. We'll have our div tag. We're going to create two div tag, one for the header section and the second for our property list. So we're going to have div times 2. The first one will be for header section, and we're going to have an h2 tag right here and a p tag as well. P tag. Our h2 tag is going to take this text, and our p tag is going to take this text. Okay. After the h2 and the p tag, now we have the second div tag, which is for the property list. So in the property list, we're going to map over the house, the home states that we extracted from home context. So right here, we're going to have homes dot map. We'll have home, create our arrow function, and then open our brackets. We'll have a div tag. We'll close the div tag. So this div tag here is for each of the property, each of the homes, and each of them will have a key that will uniquely identify each of the homes. So here is going to be home.id. We want to identify each of the properties by their ID, just like we have it here in our data file. So the first property here, the ID is 1. The second property, the ID is 2, and so on and so forth. So we want to identify each of these by their ID. So that's why we have this. Then we're going to have an image in the div tag. And to access the image, we're going to have home.image, right? Because if we hover on these homes from here, you can see, let me show you. If we hover on these homes here, you can see that for each of the home, we have the ID, the name, the price, the country, beds, description, bits, image, and property. So that's why I'm using image, and we're going to be using all of these keywords as well to access their details. So here for image, then we'll have a div tag. In this div tag, we're going to have 2 p tags. The first p tag will be for the country. So home.country, country with a Y, okay? The second will be home.property to show the property type. After this div tag, we are going to have the name of the property, and it's going to have an h3 tag. So here we're going to have home.name. For this name tag, we want to ensure that once user click on the name, they're able to view the property details. So we are going to use the link tag to make that possible. We're getting this link from React Router DOM, so we need to import it. Import link from React Router DOM. Okay, so back to this. I'm going to cut this, Ctrl X, and paste it in between the link tag. Right, now for our link, we need to set the path to, we'll use a backtick. And then we're going to have home. Remember that when we were creating the routes for the details, for our estate details, which is also our property details, we use the dynamic route such that we can access each of the estate list properties details by their ID. Okay, so that's what we want to do here. We're going to set a sort of URL here, and this is for the home, which is what we have here, /home. Then we should be able to access the ID as well. So after the home, then / we use a $sign, open our curly braces, and we're going to have home.id. Okay, so it's the same as this, / home / the dynamic parameter, and that is what we have right here, the home.id. Okay, and we'll have a key as well, which is going to be home.id. After our h3 tag, we're going to have a p tag, and the text for the p tag will be the price. So $sign home.price. After the price, we are now going to have a div tag as well. we'll have two span tags to show the number of bedrooms and bedrooms that each of these properties have. So here home dot beds, and here will be home dot beds. So dot beds. Okay, so this will have so beds, and this will have so beds. So this is our estate list. If we check our browser now, you can see this is the header, this is the first property, the location, the property type, the name, the price, number of beds, and number of bed. This is what we have. If we click on the name now, it's going to take us to the details page, and you can see that the URL is different. Okay, /home/ the ID for this one is 1. If I click back on the home page, you can see if I click on the second property, you can see that the URL is different. Back to our home page. If I click on this should be the third property, you can see it's leading us to the estate details page. We're going to come back to write the entire code for the estate details page, but right now let's style the estate lists. Okay, so we'll start with the first div tag, class name. The margin top should be 30. Now for the header section, we want all the text at the center. Text center CEN. Okay, we have an H2 tag. Text for Excel. That is big enough. Font weight should be bold. And for the P tag, class name, text should be gray. 600. Okay, now to the div tag here, which is displaying the property list. Display will be grid. Grid template column, grid column 1. Okay, on a medium screen should be grid close 2. And on a large screen it should be grid close 3. Okay, so for this P tag we still need to add some things, and that is margin top should be 4, max width should be 4 XL, and we want everything to be at the center, so MX also. So let's continue with our grid display. I'm going to add a gap of 8, padding of 12, place items at the center. Let's close this. Okay, so for the first property, for each of the properties, the background color will be white, rounded LG, shadow LG as well, max width small, overflow will be hidden, transition transform, okay. Now for the image, let's style this as well. The width should be full, the height will take 72, object cover. Now rounded, we want to have a border radius around the top right, and it should take 100 pixels. Once we have a border radius at the top left as well, rounded top left, 100 pixels as well. Then the div tag here, class name P is 4. Then the first one, let's see. So right here, everything should be in a, okay, so the class name here is going to be display will be flex. We'll have a gap of 6, but this entire thing that we have right here down to this div, I'm going to cut it so it will be inside a container. Okay, and the container, the padding would be set to 4. okay, for the entire thing. Okay, so here we're going to have text white. I want to have a background color of emerald 400. Okay, we'll have a padding of 3, rounded LG, rounded full. Full. Okay, so I'll copy this because we're going to use it for the second one. Ctrl C, and we'll paste it right here. Now to the link, which is going to be the name, class name in our H3 tag, text to Excel. The fonts will be semi-bold. Text color will be gray 800. Margin top will be 2. And we'll have, if you hover on it, text color emerald. Okay, if you hover, it should be colon text. The color should be emerald 500. Now for this P tag for the price, text will be 2XL. Text color will be emerald as well, 500. And the font will be semi-bold. Margin top will be 2. Then for this div tag here, we have a class name. Display would be flex. Justify space between all of this. Text color will be gray 600. Text will be small. Margin top will be 6. Okay, so this is what we have right now. We need to add a shadow to this because you cannot differentiate between this and this. So let's do that. Okay, so there's a typo here. Shadow, let's see if it has an effect. Okay, so it does. You can see there's a shadow. You can tell between this property and this property list here. So now we've been able to build all of this, and now we're displaying each and every property that we have in our property lists. Okay, we have 18 of them. This is the last 3. We have several properties that we're displaying here, and all of this looks good. From what we're trying to build, we only want to display 6 properties on our home page. So we're going to work on that later to ensure that we only have 6 properties. But when the user searches for any property here, all the property is going to be filtered, and the property that matches the filtered properties will be displayed. Okay, we want to ensure that we only have 6 properties on the home page, but once the user tries to filter from here, every property that is stored in our file will be filtered, and any property that matches with what is filtered with the keyword or with the selection will be displayed from all the list of our properties. So we're going to get to that now. Now, what we need to do first off is to work on our filtering search filter. Okay, to ensure that once the user selects, now if we select from here, nothing is being filtered. All properties are still being displayed. Okay, we want to write the code that will ensure that if our user searches from here, be it the location, be it the property, be it the price range, only the properties that matches with the filtered word would be displayed. If the user filters for location and property, only the property that matches with that location that is chosen and the property that is chosen would be displayed. So let's get to that. So we're going to close our estate list now, and we're going to write the logic for our function for the search functionality in home context. So right here, after the state variable that is going to store all the available homes, we're going to create an helper function to check if a filter value is still default. So we're going to name the function is default, and the parameter is going to take value, and we're going to check if value is default. So here value equals the keyword default, which is going to be the same thing as this. We're checking this value here, in our search bar, the values in the options. So the value here is default. Okay, so that is what we're doing. And now we start by creating a state for filtering home based on user selection. We'll start with the country, property, and price. So we're going to create a state variable that would manage all the list of countries, a state variable that will manage properties and price, and also a setter function that would update each of them respectively. So we'll create the first one for country, and the setter function set country. And by default, we're going to set the state to default. So here, use state will be default. We'll do the same thing for property. Setter function set property, and the use state here will be default as well. We'll do the same for price, const, state variable price, setter function set price, use state. By default, we'll set it to the default keyword. Then we're going to create another state that will store filtered homes based on user selection. So we're going to have const filtered homes. Let's say filtered houses, setter function set filtered houses, and the use state is going to be an empty array. Now we're going to write the function to filter homes based on user selection. I'm going to name the function undo search. So here, undo search will be equals to create our arrow function, and there we have it. First, we need to extract the minimum and maximum price from the selected price range. This is what I mean. If we head back here, in the price range, we have different price ranges. We have from 0 to 200,000, 200 to 300,000, 300 to 400,000. So 0 is the minimum value, 200,000 is the maximum value. Here, 200,001 is the minimum, 300 is the maximum. So what we want to do now is to extract the minimum and maximum price from the selected price range. So we're going to have const minimum price, comma, maximum price will be equals to, we want to check if price is not equals to default. We'll use the ternary operator to check if the price itself is not equal to the default price. Then we want to map over the price. So here we're going to have price not equals default. We'll use the ternary operator. If price is not equals default, we want to split price dot split into, then we'll map dot map number. Else, if it is equal, we want to have 0, comma, infinity. Okay. And now we're going to filter homes based on the selected criteria. So we'll create a new homes for that. Const new homes, new houses will be equal to home.filter house. We'll create our arrow function here. Then we'll convert price string to a number. So const, we'll name it house price. House price will be equal to pass int house.price. Now we're going to check for all filters if they match. We're going to do for all the selection for country, house, and price. We'll return any property that matches with the filtered one. So here we'll use if statement if house.country equals the country that we have stored, and house dot property equals to our property, and house price that is greater than or equals to the minimum price, and house price that is less than or equals to the maximum price. So we want to return all house if all the filters match. So if everything matches, then we're going to return house. So here, the condition that we're checking, we're using an if statement to check if our house.country, the one that we select, matches with what we have already. If the house.property matches with this, if house.price matches with the minimum or maximum price, they want to return all the houses. Then the next condition that we're going to check for is to return all houses if no filters are selected. That means if default values are selected. So here we use an if statement. If is default. So if country is default, that means if no country is selected, and is default property, if no property is selected, and is default price, then we're going to return house. So this is for this condition here. The next condition that we need to take into consideration is to return houses where only the country filter is selected. So we want to ensure that if the user selects only the country, we should return houses that only matches with that country. So here we'll have an if statement. So here, if not default country, and is default property, and is default price. So here we're checking if country is not default, that means if country is selected, and property is default, that means property is not selected, and price is default, price is not selected, they want to return house that match with that country. So here we're going to return house.country that equals the country. And then the next thing we need to check for is if we want to return houses where only property filter is selected, that means the property is not default. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. So this will be default, it will not be selected, but this will not be default, it's not default, that means it's selected. So we want to return house.property that matches with the property. So I'm going to have Ctrl D. Here we're just going to have property. And next is to consider returning houses where only the price range filter is selected. So I'm going to do the same thing, paste what I just copied. Here the country will be default, it will not be selected. Property will be default, it will not be selected, but the price will not be default, it will be selected. And we want to return houses, we want to return house price that matches with the minimum and maximum value. So here we're going to have house price that is greater than or equals to the minimum price, and house price that is less than or equal to the maximum price. So the next thing we need to consider is returning houses where only both country and property filters are selected. So I'm going to paste what we copied before. Now we want to ensure that only country and properties is selected. So the country is not default and the property is not default, but the price is default. So we're going to return, let me delete this. We're going to return house.country that matches with the country, and house.property that is equal to the property. Also, we need to consider a situation where only country and price is selected. So I'm going to paste what I copied earlier. So here, country is not default, that means it's selected, and price will not be default, that means the price is selected, but the property is default. So here in this case, only country and the price is selected. So we're going to return house.country that matches with the country, and house price that is greater than or equal to the minimum price. Okay, let's have a space here, and house price that is less than or equal to the maximum price. So another thing we're going to consider is if only the property and price filter is selected. So I'm going to paste what I copied. If only property is selected and price is selected, so that means country will be default and the property would not be default, the price will not be default. So we're going to return house.property that matches with the property, and house price, we're going to return the minimum and maximum price. So I'm just going to copy this, what we have here, and I'm going to paste it right here. Then lastly, we're going to exclude if no conditions are met. So we're just going to return false. So if none of the condition is met, we're going to return false. Now we're going to update the filtered house state with the new houses that we have, so that the filtered house state is a variable that is going to store our homes based on our user selection. So after the user has selected, after they've gone through any of this filtering process, any of these conditions, we want to update our house state. So here, set filtered house state with new houses. Okay. Then after this, after considering all of this, the next thing we're going to use the use effect to set the default filtered houses if none are selected. But we want to ensure that we display only 6 houses in our own page. So we're going to use effect, create our function, and now if we use an if statement to check if filtered houses dot length, that means if none is selected, equals 0, we want to set filtered houses to homes dot slice method. I want to display just 6. So if none of it is selected, if no condition is selected, if everything is default, we want to display just 6 properties. And here we're going to pass the homes and filtered houses as our dependency array, so that it will run when homes or filtered houses change. So here we're going to have homes, filtered houses. Then now in our values, we're going to pass the country so that other components and pages can have access to it. Set country function as well to update it. The price, we'll have the set price function as well. We'll have the property and set property function. We'll have the undo search function itself. Then filtered houses. So now the next thing we need to do is to extract all of these values and use it in the necessary place. So we're going to use it in the search functionality. Right here, we're going to extract homes. We're going to extract the value for country. We're going to extract the function set country. We need to extract the property, the price, set property, set price, and also our undo search function. So here, use context will be from home context. So now all we need to do is just to be inserting the values in the select tag. So right here in our select tag here, the value for the location is the country. So country. And then since we have options, our user can change options. So we need to ensure that we use the method to undo the option, and we also update the country when the user changes their option. So we'll use an onChange method. We'll call our events. We'll pass event as parameter, and we'll use set country to update it. e.target value. So our target is the value. So we'll do the same for others. Better still, I'm just going to copy this, Ctrl C, and I'll come paste it here, right here, and this will be for property. And here the function is going to be set property. We'll do the same thing for price. I'll come in here, paste it. The value here will be for price, and the setter function is going to be set price. And then for our button, we're going to use an onClick method so that when the user clicks on the button, the undo search function would work. So here we'll use an onClick method, and we're going to call our undo search function. For this search function to work with our estate list, to ensure that once the user filters from the search functionality here, the estate list displays the property that matches with what the user selection, we need to ensure that we're using filtered homes here. Okay, this is just to display the entire properties, but with our filtered homes, we'll be able to store homes based on the user selection, based on whatever the user selects. So we're going to change this to filtered homes. So let me just have Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. So Ctrl D, wherever we have homes, this is going to be filtered homes, filtered houses. Okay, so now we're mapping over filtered houses. And remember that here in our context, we have it here that we are using the use effects to ensure that if no homes are selected, we want to display just 6 properties. So even if no homes is selected, if the user does not click on the search functionality, the user is just going through the home page, we want to ensure that we're displaying just 6 properties to our user. If we check our browser now, we can only see 6 properties here that is being displayed, unlike earlier that we had about 18 properties that is being displayed. Now we have just 6 properties in our home page that is being displayed. Now let's test our search functionality. For the location, if we choose from any of the location, if we choose United States, we're here to style the search button, and we click on search, only properties that match with this location will be displayed. As you can see, this property here is located in United States, this here in United, this here United States, this here United States, this here United States. So we have 5 properties that matches with this country. If we click on Canada and we type search, only properties that their location is in Canada will be displayed. As you can see, Canada, 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 Canada. So this functionality is working. Now let's select a location and a property type. And if we choose apartment, if we check, we have just 3 properties that matches with this criteria. The location is Canada and the property type is an apartment. This location is in Canada, the property type is an apartment. This location here is in Canada and the property type is an apartment. So if we choose the price range, and let's say the price is in between 200,000 to 300,000, let's see, do we have properties like that? Yes. If we click on search now, we have just 2 properties that matches. Okay, the location here is Canada, property type apartment, and the price range is in between 200,001 to 300,000, and that's the same thing we have here. Location Canada, property type apartment, the price here is 280,000, which is also in between the range of 200,001 to 300,001. This other apartments here, Canada, the property type apartment, the price here 200,005, which is in between 200,001 to 300,000. So now our search functionality is working perfectly well. We need to style the search bar. We forgot to style that earlier. So we'll head back here to our search now to the button, which we did not style. So for the button now, we're going to, the background color is going to be emerald green, 400. Text color will be white. PX will be 6. PY will be 3. Rounded, that is the border radius. LG. Cursor will be pointer. And the size will be XL. Display here will be flex. We want the item to be at the center. Justify center as well. And if you hover on it, over the background color will be emerald with this color code, and we want a transition as well. So let's see now. This is what we have. Okay, so this is what we have. If you hover on it, you can see that there's a difference. So we've tried the property location in Canada. Let's try another one. So the next thing we need to do now is to fetch our estate details. So I'm going to close the search, close the estate list, our context as well. Now we need to work on the estate details page. So first off, we need to extract the ID from the URL parameter, in the sense that if you click on on the name of any of the property, let me set everything back to default. We have all the, so if we click on this property now, it will lead us to the details page, right? But we want to extract the URL here so that we can have access to each of the ID parameter in the URL. So the ID here, this is the third one, and the ID is 3. So we're going to head back to our page, our code editor, and we'll write our code. So to extract, we're going to have const ID will be equal to, we'll use params from React Router DOM to extract the ID from URL parameter. So this is it right here. We need to import it. We're going to import params from React Router DOM. After extracting the ID from the URL parameter, we need to find the house's details based on the ID from our route. So here we're going to have const house will be equal to properties that we're getting from our data file dot find. We need to import the properties though. Oh, Ctrl Z, properties dot find method. We want to find house. We'll pass house as the parameter. They want to find the house dot ID that matches with our ID, and we want to convert the ID to an integer. So we're going to pass int ID, but we need to import. We need to import properties from our file, from the data file. Okay, so we're having a use params. Okay, so now that this is working, we can now display in our UI. So we'll start with the property name, price, and location. I'll create a div tag, and in this div tag we'll have our h2 tag. We want to get the name, so here house.name, and also we want to get the price, so in dollars, house.price. So remember that we're finding the house from our properties using the ID that we're extracting from our route. So here we have house.price. After this div tag, we're going to have an h3 tag, and the text is going to be the country. So here we're going to have house.country. After this, we'll have our HR tag for horizontal line. After this, we'll have our property features, which we're going to create a div tag for. So for this, we'll have a p tag, and in this p tag, we're going to have 4 p tags actually. So the first one will be for the number of beds, the second will be the beds, the third will be the property type. So here we're going to use an icon for bed. So we're using this icon here, and it has been imported right here. Okay, and we're going to close it, and we want to display house dot beds. After this p tag, we'll have another p tag for the number of bedrooms. So this is going to be like Ctrl Z. Let me just have it like this. So this is for bits. We need the bits icon. So we're going to use this first one. We'll close it. I want to display house.bits. After that, we want to display the property type. We'll have another p tag. And we'll use the landmark icon. So we're going to use this icon here. And the text is going to be house.property. After these three p tags, we'll have our HR tag for horizontal line. After the horizontal line, we're going to have the property image. So we'll use our img tag right here. Replace this quote with the curly braces, and we get house.image. Okay. Then we'll have an h2 tag, which is going to display property description text. So here, property description. After the h2 tag, we're going to display a div tag. In the div tag, we're going to have 4 div tags. So here, div times 4. The first one is going to be for the property type. So we'll have a p tag and an h4 tag for that. We'll have one p tag and we'll have an h4 tag. The p tag is going to take this text, property type, and the h4 will give us house.property. That is for the first one. The second div tag will be the status of the house in a p tag. So I'm going to cut this. P is supposed to be lowercase, not uppercase. Lowercase here. An h4 tag. We're just going to write available. The property is available. Next div tag is going to be for the year built, and the last one will be like the property ID. So we'll have a p tag, year built. We'll just write a random year. H4 tag, let's say 2022. Next div tag will be property ID. A p tag with this text, property ID. Then an h4 tag. We're just going to have a random ID here. You can also add the ID and every other details in your array of objects that is going to represent each of them. So after this entire div tag, we'll use an horizontal tag, HR. Then we're going to have the long description. So p tag that is going to take property house.description. So here, house.description, which is our long description. And right here, what we're just going to do is to duplicate. So here, we'll do it 4 times. So after these p tags will be the contact form where the user can book for an inspection. So we'll have a div tag. In this div tag, we'll have a p tag. And the p tag will be, please fill the form for inspection. Fill form for inspection. And then we'll have a form tag. Form. I'm just going to delete this action here. And the form tag will have an h2 tag that is going to serve as the header. And this is going to tell the user to book an inspection. Okay. Then we'll have the first div tag. We'll have a label. And this label will be for full name. Label will be for full name. Then we'll have a div tag. In this div tag, we'll have two input fields for text. Their types will be text. The first one, the placeholder will be full name. So here, placeholder, first name. The second placeholder will be last name. After this div tag, we're going to have another div tag. And this will be for our email input. So label for email. Let's just have email here. Email. And our input field, the type will be email as well. Placeholder is going to be example, so that the user can understand the formats. Example at gmail.com. After the email, we'll have another div tag for our text area. So here we'll have a div tag. Label, this one will be for message. Then we'll have the text area. And we'll have a placeholder. Let's just tell the user that this is the kind of message that we want. Hi, I am. Okay, we'll use double quotes here so that we can use single quotes in the middle. Hi, I am interested in the property. Those kind of messages. After this div tag, we'll have our button. And the button will say book an inspection or submit. So here I'm just going to have book an inspection. Okay, so this is what we're going to have. If we check now, you can see for this property, we can get the name of the property, the price, the location, number of beds, villa, the clear image of the property description, everything, the form to book an inspection. Now we need to style. Let's style so that this will look more attractive. So we'll come back here. We'll start from the top. So right here, class name. The width will be the size. We want everything at the center. And our margin top, we're going to set margin top to 8. Now for this div tag here, the display will be flexed. Justify. Okay, it should be class name. Flex. Justify between. Text color will be emerald 500. And the size of the text will be 3XL. The font will be bold. Let's close this. Now for the name. So this will be for the name and the price, right? Then for our H3 tag, class name, text will be Excel, and the color of the text will be gray, 500. Margin top will be 2, and the margin bottom will be 4. For the HR tag, we want a border of gray, 300, and MY will be 4. This is border, not border. Okay, border gray 300. Now for our property features that we have here, display is flex, justify, between, padding will be 5, text size will be large, font will be semi-bold, and the text color will be black. Now for the P tag here, display is flex, items center is going to be the same for all the P's. So I'm going to copy this, paste it here to make it faster. Copy this and paste it here. Now for the icons, the margin right will be 2. So class name MR2. I'm going to do the same thing. Copy. We're just going to paste here, and we'll do the same thing here. Now for the HR tag as well, we're going to copy this, and we're going to paste it right here. Then we have our image. So here, class name, the width to be full, the height to be 500 pixels, margin top will be 4, objects will be cover, rounded, rounded will be large. Then we have the property description text after the image. So right here we have a class name. Text will take 2XL. Font will be semi-bold. And margin top will be 6. Now for the div tag that we have here, display will be grid. Grid template column 2. We'll have a gap of 6. And we'll have a margin top of 6 as well. Margin top will be 8. And the margin bottom will be 6. Okay. So right here, for the P tag, the text color will be gray, 600. And for the H4 tag, the text will be large and the font size will be medium. So class name, text, large, font, medium. It will be the same for all. So I'm just going to copy this. And I'm just going to paste it right here. Do the same and paste it right here. Do the same and paste it right here. The H4 as well is going to take the same styling. Paste it. Paste. Paste. Then we have for the house description. So here, class name, the text color will be gray, 700. Leading relax. Relaxed, and we'll have a margin bottom of 4. So I'm going to copy this. I'll paste this here. Do the same thing. Copy this and paste this here. Copy and paste. We have a little typo error here. And we have the same thing here. So I'm just going to delete all the typos. Okay. Now after this, we have our contacts form. For the form, we have our class name. The max width will be 3XL. So here, max width 3XL. Padding 6. We want the border around it. And the border color should be gray 300. Rounded, large. I want a shadow. LG. I want the large shadow with a margin top of 8. Now for the P tag, text should be at the center. So class name. Oh no, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Class name. Text should be at the center. And the text color should be gray. Margin bottom will be 4. So text gray 600. Margin bottom will be 4. For our form itself, we'll start our H2 tag in the form. So class name. Text to be at the center. The text size will be 2XL. And the font will be semi-bold. Margin bottom will be 6. Now for the div tag that we have here, margin bottom here would be 4. Then for our label, class name, the display should be block. The font width should be semi-bold. Now for these divs that we have here, for the div here, we'll have a class name as well. The display will be flex, and we want a gap of 4 in between these two input fields. Okay, so for each of the input fields, let's have class name. The width will be half of the entire size. Padding will be 2. We want a border around it. So here, border, and the border color will be gray. 300. Rounded, just medium border radius around it. So I'm going to copy what we have here, since both of them are going to be using the same. So after this, we need to style this section as well. So margin bottom here will be 4. The label here, display will be block as well, and the font will be semi-bold. So we have the same thing here for our full name. So I'm going to copy and paste here. The same goes for this. So Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Okay, paste. Let's see. Okay. Now for the input for our email, the width will be full. So class name, width full. Padding will be 2 as well. We want a border as well. And the border color will be gray, 300 as well. Rounded will be medium size. Okay. Then we have for our text area, the styling will be a little bit different. So class name, the width will be full as well. Padding will be 2. We need a border. We want a border color gray, 300. Rounded MD. Medium. Height should be 24. Resize, none. Then we have our button. For our button, the background color will take emerald. 500. Padding will be 3. The width will take full. The text color will be white. The font weight will be semi-bold. And we want a border radius around it, so just a medium sized border radius. And when you hover, the background color should be emerald 700. That should do it. Now let's see what we have. So this is what we have. This is the name here. This is the price, very bold. The location, the number of beds. Okay, we need to write the text beside it as well. I think we missed it, but we had villa here. Okay, we'll work on that. This is the image here, looking all cool. Property description, the other long description, and this is the form to book an inspection. First name, last name, email, and message. And if you hover on this, you can see the color. Okay, so let's adjust this, just that. So here, house.beds, beds, that should do it. Okay, beds. Okay, so that is it. Next thing we need to work on now is our footer, which is going to be at the bottom of all pages, both the home page, property details page, and every other page. So let's get to that. We've already mounted our footer here in our app.css here. And we said earlier that the footer will be at the bottom of all the pages. So I'm going to open our footer components now. Let's get to work. So for our footer, let's delete this. We would have our div tag here. And the div tag will have 3 div tags. So here, 3. The first one will take the h2 tag. The second will take the p tag, and the third will take the images, the icon images. So we're going to have 3 image here. Okay, so This is for the first div tag. This is for the second. So the text here for our H2, Zion properties, and for our P tag, it will take this text, which is very long. Then for all the images, we're going to replace this with the curly braces, this as well with the curly braces, and this as well with the curly braces. We're going to get the image from our asset folder, this Facebook icon image, LinkedIn icon image, and the Twitter icon image. But first, we need to import it into this component. Import Facebook underscore icon from // asset slash Facebook underscore icon dot png. That is the name of the icon here. .png. So I'm going to copy this. Work faster. We'll paste it 3 times. So we'll select this. I'm just going to select this particular word. Control D. We'll change this to Twitter. Since the name here is Twitter underscore icon dot png, right? And the last one we'll change to LinkedIn. The name that we have here is LinkedIn icon dot png. Now here we're going to have Facebook icon. The second one is going to have Twitter, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Okay, the second one here is going to have Twitter icon. And the third one here is going to have LinkedIn icon. Okay, now for our second div, we'll have an H2 tag, which is going to take this text, company. After this, we'll have the lists, which will give us all our links. So here, we'll have our URL tag, 4 list items. First one will be home. Second would be about us. The third will be services. And the last one will be privacy policy. Then we'll have, in this other div here, we'll have an H2 tag as well. And the text here will be get in touch. Okay, we'll have a list. And here, li3. Oh. So the first one is going to take this text. The second will take this text. And the third text will take this. The third list will take this. So after this div tag here, we're going to have an HR tag for an horizontal line. Then we'll have a div tag for the copyright section. And we'll have a P tag that's going to take this text. So this is going to be Zion property. The Z will be caps lock. Okay, so this is our footer. If we check our home page now, we're going to see this footer right here. So let's style it so that it can look presentable. So the style, class name, background to be emerald, 400. The text color, all text will be black. Display will be flex. Flex direction will be colon. One of the items at the center, item center with a gap of 5. Padding 820. Margin top will be 8 as well. Let's close this so that we can have a larger screen. So here as well, for the wrapper itself, the width will be full. Display will be grid. Grid calls 1. We'll set a gap of 10. All text to the left. Max width is 6XL. And on a medium screen, grid columns 3. So for the first div here, class name, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, grid calls 3, For this div here, class name, display will be flex colon with a gap of 5. Now for our h2 tag, text to be 2XL, font to be semi-bold, and for our p tag, text to be base, leading, relaxed. For the div tag that we have here, for all the images, display will be flex, items should be at the center, close this again, Ctrl Z, okay, items center, gap will be 4, margin top will be 3. Now for the images, for each of them, the width will be 10, cursor will be pointer. So I'm going to copy this. Oh no, Ctrl Z. Okay, I'm going to copy this and paste it here, and I'll do the same thing here because they're going to use the same styling. Right here for the second div, class name, display will be flex colon gap of 5. The text size here, class name, text 2XL, font semi-bold, and for the list here, class name, we want a space, y axis 2, and the text here should be base. Then for the next one that we have here, class name, display will be flex colon gap of 5 as well. The h4 tag, text to be 2XL, font semi-bold. Here we'll have a class name, space of y2, text base. Okay. And right here we'll have this HR tag that we have here. We need to style it. The width will be full. For the border top 2, we'll have a border gray 600 5, and we'll have a max width 6XL. For the copyright section, we want the text at the center. So here we'll have a class name, text center, and the fonts should be Excel. So let's see what we have at our footer now that we have styled. So this is what we have. Our footer is looking all good. Okay. So this is from top to finish. We've been able to cover navbar, hero section, filtering, search properties. We'll be able to display all the properties that we have, 6 properties to be precise, but if the user filters, it's going to display more properties that matches with the user selection. We have our footer and we have our page for each of the properties. We have, if you click on the name, it's going to lead it to the page, which is looking all good. And if you click on this, it's related to the home page. So this is the end of this tutorial. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Do not forget to like, guys. Do not forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.